everyone, this is Jedid, the dietitian from the Davenport Perth Neighborhood and Community Health Center. We are going to make a surprise egg casserole, as you can see. So I called it this because you can basically use any leftovers that you have from the night before or the day before that, whether it's vegetables and or protein. So you can use chicken or fish, or if you have any leftover tofu or meat. Those are all great to incorporate into this dish. So first we're going to start with mise en place. That means that we're going to gather all of our ingredients and all of the materials that we need. So we have a stove with gas, we have our pan, we need a frying pan. We also need a baking dish, a 9 by 9 inch baking dish. That would be for 4 large servings or 6 smaller servings. You need a grater for the cheese. You need a measuring tablespoon and teaspoon. Then you need a cutting board and a chef's knife. If you don't have a chef's knife, you can use a small knife. I highly recommend that you ask your child to help you chop up the cooked vegetables, so the leftover vegetables. And you can give them either like a dull knife or a plastic knife, just so that they don't cut themselves. Then we need a wooden spoon to stir the fried vegetables, and also a spatula and a bowl about this size, medium. And we need a whisk for the eggs. We need a measurement cup. Half a cup is fine, or if you have 1 whole cup, that's good too. So let's get started. So we need for the ingredients, over here I have whole wheat flour, 1 cup or 8 ounces. Then baking powder, 1 teaspoon. Then I have vegetables, so half an onion, chopped up very small in dice. And then over here, half a bell pepper. You can choose any color that you like, also very finely chopped. I have 1 cup of grated cheese. You can choose any hard cheese. And then I have 4 eggs in total. We're not going to add those all at once. They're split in two times during the recipe. Over here, this is melted butter, 2 tablespoons. Then I have my leftover vegetables. So I recommend about this size, 1 cup of leftover vegetables. And then if you want to add another protein, the eggs are of course already a protein. So you don't have to add another protein, but if you have leftover chicken or fish or anything like that, you can chop that up very small too. Your child can do that for you. Then we need in total 1 cup of milk. Again, you can choose any milk that you have. If it is a plant-based milk, that's fine too. It is a savory dish, so I wouldn't recommend any sweetened milk. Over here I have olive oil. We're going to use that to grease our pan and also to do a little bit of sauteing of the vegetables. And we have salt and pepper. Okay, so let's get started. First we're going to turn on the oven, so 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we have our baking dish, so we're going to grease the baking dish. Any oil would basically do. And if you measure about a tablespoon, that will be fine. This is also a good job for your child to do. So just make sure that they cover the full bottom and all of the sides so that the casserole doesn't stick to the pan when you want to take it out. So yeah, this is cool. Painting with oil. Okay, so now we're going to set that aside, and then it is time to make our batter. So for the batter, we will need 1 cup of whole wheat flour with 1 teaspoon of the baking powder, and then 1 egg. If you want, you can let your child break the egg. So just make sure you give them a little bowl, something like this. And then what you can do, you can teach them to just very gently tap the egg on the edge until there's a crack. Then they can put the tips of their thumbs right around the crack and push it in a little bit and pull it apart. This is of course something that requires a little bit of skill, so just be patient, and if they do get their hands dirty, of course, they need to wash their hands. So we will add the egg as well. And then we're going to add milk, half a cup of milk. So always make sure that when you're measuring that it is measured until the top edge of the measurement cup. We're going to mix that, add in our butter as well. There we go. So the good thing about the butter is that it makes the dough become chewy. It helps to hold it better together. And now you can basically put this batter into the bottom of your dish. So I do like to use a spatula to make sure everything is out of the bowl. It out evenly. And then this is something your child can do again, of course. You can just tap it until it covers the full bottom. And then we're going to add 3/4 cups of our cheese. We'll make it like almost like a pizza. So let's make the vegetables. So for the vegetables, we're going to heat up a tablespoon of olive oil. Actually, first we'll heat up the pan itself. Once the pan is hot, we're going to add a tablespoon of oil. And we're going to add our onion and our pepper. Use our wooden spoon. It will take about 5 minutes to cook these vegetables. So it will take a little bit of time. They should be looking translucent. When they start to get brownish, then you turn off the heat. So while this is cooking, your child can still continue to chop up the vegetables and the protein that you have. That's totally fine. Good. So now that these vegetables are cooked, I'm turning off the heat. And now I'm going to add in those leftover vegetables, just so I have them all together, as well as the leftover chicken. So next we're going to make the egg mix. So we'll put this over here. You can use the same bowl that we used for the batter. It doesn't matter if there's still a little bit left over in it. So we're going to break 3 eggs. So these are large eggs. Okay, and eggs have a great protein that is very similar to that found in our human body. So we will fluff that up a bit, mix it until the yolk is mixed into the egg white. And we're going to add half a cup of the milk. And we can add a little bit of salt and pepper and whatever herbs that you and your child likes. So it could be something like an Italian herb mixture, or just individual herbs, or maybe you like some spices like paprika powder. And then we're going to add our vegetables into this. And we have quite a lot of mix. Mix that all together. Okay, your vegetables should be a little bit cooled down by now, so that the egg doesn't start to cook. And then we're going to add that to our pan. Just pour it on top. Good, and we can spread it all out so that the egg mixture should be covering the vegetables and the protein. Good, and now it is ready to go into the oven. So you bake it at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes. Sure that you put a little pricker into the middle of the dish, and it should come out clean. Okay, then you know that all the egg is cooked well.